this week, and our profile guests is Janet and it's Kat from Community First. Ladies, good evening to you.
Hi.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah, it was October last came in, wasn't it?
It was end of October, wasn't it?
Crikey, the time flies so fast, I tell you. Flies so fast. And you've had a busy time since we last chatted. The pair of you,
Really busy. We've also had the lurgy.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
No,
Everyone's
it's
had the
great.
lurgy. Try not to cough. If I cough,
You just run outside, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
John won't mind in the other studio. That won't be a problem at all. But so much, I don't know where to start because there's so much going on, isn't there? And Community First. Just to recap what Community First is all about, first of all, for those perhaps who missed us last time.
Wow. Okay.
That is a lot.
If you can.
Yeah, well,
there's so much to it, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, Community First, we are an independent charity and we support and represent voluntary sector across our area. So we have offices in Havant, Fareham, Winchester and East Hampshire and Petersfield.
Yes.
So, but we work across the whole of Hampshire and into Portsmouth as well. So, yeah, we support we have lots of different services. We have transport, we have a training team.
It's a busy area, isn't it?
It's massive. It's
diverse.
Massive.
That's good for something
diverse.
like
We work with young people. What else we work with? We've got a project.
Support needs.
People with support needs, which Kat's going to talk about Positive Pathways in a minute, which is based in Lee Park. We've got loads and loads of things going on. In fact, tomorrow we've got our big, massive event at the Village Hotel. Wow. It's sold out now, so it's a bit late
Can't
to come.
get tickets. No,
it's
sold
called
out.
a Connected Society, and we've got about 150 people coming from across the communities to come together, and our AGM is part of that as well.
Oh, okay, so it's like a showcase.
It's a big showcase of what we do. Yeah.
Bit glitzy or
no? Probably
not too
no
much.
glitz, but
no
you know,
glitz.
yeah,
but
it will be very good. It'll be really good.
Yeah, and that's nice to sort of show off.
Yeah,
almost,
We've just had our new annual report come out, and I've just given you a copy there. It looks good.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
I love to print the book.
Yeah, picked it up today. It's really good.
Yeah, pleased. Are you pleased with the way it's going?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's a great organisation to work for. You know, everybody we work with is really nice, really nice, caring people. Yeah. Brilliant.
And as you said, there's so many different things that sort of shoot off from the umbrella of the Community First, I suppose, really, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And that comes into your project, Positive Pathways.
Yeah, it's been a busy year since it's started. Well, we started in September 2017.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Christmas period has been really busy for us. We had a cookery course that completely exploded full of the clients, and they absolutely loved it. And we had a couple of people that said they learned how to cook their first homemade meal ever.
Wow, okay.
And they were so made up about that, and they want to do it again. So it's just kind of motivating people to kind of look after themselves a bit better, and they're meeting new people. So I just found that amazing. So, and for them to want to do it again is like inspiring.
It says it all in the title, doesn't it? It's a positive thing.
Pathways, it's fantastic.
It's sort of a step forward. And now you're based in Lee Park, is that right? Or the project is based in Lee Park?
That's right. Yeah.
Is this something which will be rolled out perhaps to other areas? You know, is there some, or is it you got a lot going on in Lee Park?
Well, it's mainly focused on helping Havant Borough residents over the age of 18. So that's really our focus point, and I think it's quite good to have that focus area so we can really support people with different types of support needs. So I'm not really sure. I think it's kind of watch the space.
Okay.
I think it is something that we're looking at, actually, because it is a really good model, and it was funded by the National Lottery. So,
because obviously it seems like a good, I suppose it's skills, it's tools to have. Was that why Lee Park was chosen in particular to run this sort of scheme?
I think it was kind of it was built off a previous project called the V Team, and that was so successful. And people of the community really loved that. And the V Team did really similar activities and helped the local area, like with the gardening and public spaces. So I think it just kind of naturally progressed onto something bigger, a lot bigger. So we're always busy. You know, there's never a dull day in the office. It's always busy in the office.
So there's nothing such as a typical day for you then, really, is there?
No, it's all different because everyone's so different. And their support needs are so different. So it's really rewarding to watch people kind of realise their potential as well. So, it's very inspiring.
So how are people referred to you or to the project?
Well, they can self-refer. Sometimes they can just pop into the centre and say, I need some help, because we do team volunteering, but we also offer help with finding individual opportunities as well, and that is utilising the Volunteer Wessex database. So we really we're really lucky to have that tool. And sometimes they come from things like the job centre or mental health organisations, and it's just working with these organisations to help people individually. So yeah, all different referrals from all different organisations. So
it's going really well, which is good.
Oh, it's been so busy referrals. It's been crazy.
Has it really completely?
Since the beginning of the year, it hasn't stopped at all. So
wow,
it's
and we're only 24th of January, so
hasn't stopped.
My word, which is good for the Community First, really, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant, because it sits within the volunteer service at Community First,
and that's the whole crux of it all, really, isn't it? Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, it is quite central to working for a community group, a charity, because without volunteers, where would we be? You know, if you took out all the volunteers out of the UK,
it's a scary thought,
it is
isn't it?
really scary. You think about somebody who's had a stroke. Where do they go? They go to
spoken to the air ambulance.
Who would take up?
Example.
Yeah. Just imagine, and it's. Funding has been cut to local authorities, which has an impact on charities.
But haven't people bounced back from that, do you think? They've been sort of fairly resilient and they're still going.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
it's not dropped off. I think a lot of people were thinking that volunteer might sort of just drop off. But I don't think it has,
well, statistically, if we're being honest, there are less people volunteering. And so the trends are declining. But what we're finding that a lot of people are looking for one-off volunteering opportunities. So we're looking at more doing social action days and campaigns because a lot of people are so busy now, they haven't got time to volunteer every week in, week out. So we're looking to sort of come up with some ideas of how we can do so if you're working, you can come along to a one-off opportunity. We've got one coming up in Alton in February, for example. It's a social action day. We're inviting loads of people to come along. There's a charity called Cardiac Rehab. So it's about people who've had heart disease or looking to do their Stay Well programme. And we're looking for volunteers to come along for 4 hours to do a car wash, because they need to raise money for this charity. So it's 4 hours of volunteering, one-off hit, great, makes a difference to the community. They get to meet other like-minded people. It's good fun. We might even play a little bit of car wash music, to get down to we're doing it.
Yeah,
it's got to be the car wash song.
Yeah, I love that car wash song.
I'll find it. It's there somewhere.
Yeah. And so we're looking at different ways of how we can attract people to volunteer, because we really do need more people volunteering in our communities.
And it's good skills to go on the CV too, isn't it?
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's life skills and all that sort of thing.
There's whatever individual, whoever you are, there's a different reason why people want to volunteer. If you're a young person, it's great on your CV.
Yes.
Gets you into your college place. You put it on a UCAS form. If you're newly retired, you might want to give something back and make new friends. If you're a business volunteer, we work with loads and loads of businesses, which I think we're going to talk about a bit later.
Yes.
We work with a number across the whole of Hampshire. They do team volunteering days where they come along, have a team day out, roll up their sleeves, do some gardening. They might paint a community centre. They might go to a food bank. There's lots and lots of ways of how businesses can support our projects.
Okay. Well, let's touch on that, because it's a good opportunity to sort of think about the business side of it. I mean, what would you say to businesses perhaps interested in getting involved in something like this? As you mentioned, because team building, one of those big things there. It's a buzzword that, trying to get network and get all their staff together and do something as a team.
Yeah. Well, for example, I'll give you an example. We work with Pfizer. You've heard of Pfizer Pharmaceuticals based in Havant. They've been working with us for the last 4.5 years, and they've been absolutely amazing. They do 10 volunteering days a year for their 300 staff, and we have up to 10 and 15 people volunteer on one particular day. And they can do anything, that where it's making a difference. They've actually volunteered with Positive
They're always
Pathways
so happy
team.
to volunteer with our volunteers as well.
So they volunteer with people with support needs, and it works really well. That was always the vision, is that we would bring people that are working and people who are unemployed together.
They can teach
our
our volunteers new skills. So
it's worked so well. So that's just an example of we're working with other businesses in the Havant area and Fareham, Winchester.
So it's a win-win, really, isn't it?
It is a win-win,
so.
and it's good fun. It's really good fun.
And gets everyone together, as you say. Well, let's pause there. With a profile guest as well, and Kat from Community First. We'll chat about Positive Pathways a little bit earlier. Going from success to success, I think, can safely say. Busy year ahead, sort of in 2019, because you had quite a busy year last year.
Yeah, we're looking at working with new venues this year, so different schools in the area, and we're actually working with the Final Straw this year, which would be really exciting. So the Final Straw is like beach conservation and cleaning up beaches, so that would be really exciting.
Yeah,
so
I think we've covered
very
on
enthusiastic
before.
and very active on social media. radio as well. So
get out in the fresh air. Yeah. When it's a bit warm, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Probably not a good idea at the moment. But I mean, it's quite something very close to people's hearts.
Yeah, just reducing plastic, and especially on beaches where you want to go to the beach and have a lovely kind of landscape to look at, not rubbish on the beach. So that'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people can sign up for that, can they?
Well, they can come and join the project. So it's really for people that are on the project as it's team volunteering. So they'll be like liaising with us, and we'll be working with them. So it's really with our group of volunteers. Okay. So
So quite a busy time for that sort of side of things. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should be good.
And Community First in general. I mean, I was looking through the book just now. There's so much in here that's going on. There's learning and development, personal growth and development. We touched on that a little bit earlier about life skills and that kind of thing. And this is something really that people should get involved with, and to brush up perhaps on things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got a really big learning and development department. They work across the whole of Hampshire, providing training, excellent training for individuals, community groups, and businesses with our Skills to Go project. So if anybody's interested in having some very affordable training, then they need to contact us we'll give all the contact details at the end. But we've got lots of different services that are on offer to the community. Yeah. So if you need a minibus, a community minibus, we can help you with that as well.
Is there anything you can't do?
Yeah,
but that's good though, isn't it? For people to
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's what we're there. Yeah. Traditionally, we were called a council for voluntary service, but we've kind of evolved over time into what we've become, Community First. So it's more than the traditional model. So we're there to support people, but we also have to be innovative and look at new ways of how we're going to do that, because obviously with funding issues, we have to look at that's how our work with businesses at the moment is taking on a new direction.
Yeah. Are you sort of a registered charity?
You
definitely,
are? Yeah.
Again?
Registered charity. Yeah.
Again, people don't realise it. I guess people just think these things happen.
Well, but they don't. No.
Unfortunately, it's got to come from somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
And this is certainly one of them. So how are you funded then? Do you just...
Well, traditionally, we were funded by local authorities.
Right.
And with grants. But now it's changing. We're still funded by local authorities and Hampshire County Council. But the grants have sort of been reduced over the last 5 years. So we have to look at ways of how we're going to bring in extra revenue. We had the Positive Pathways project. We put in a really successful funding application to the big lottery, and we got £500,000 for that. So it's a 5-year project. So that is a massive success story. It was brilliant. And it is making, as you've heard from Kat, it's making massive, enormous difference in the Havant borough. So we're looking at different ways of doing it. But volunteering, I mean, that's what we're here to talk about today, really, is it's so important. We want to try and get as many people in our communities out there volunteering, just whether it's one-off.
I was going to say, when you say volunteer, what sort of type of volunteer? Is it a certain person you're looking for?
Well, anybody can volunteer.
Okay.
I'll just give you a little bit of bit of background about something that happened today. I actually attended a funeral this afternoon at Havant Crematorium.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and it was somebody that was a volunteer at Community First. His name was Stuart, and he was a volunteer with us for 8 years. And I went along, it was at 2:30, and I sat there and I looked at all the images of Stuart and all the people talking about his life. And what was passionate to Stuart was the fact that core to him was volunteering. He'd actually had an accident, a spinal accident, when he was 23 playing rugby, and he'd gone through his whole life. He passed away a couple of weeks ago at the age of 65. Even though he was in a wheelchair and had a disability, he was still passionate about volunteering. So whoever you are, whatever you're, whether you're working, whether you're a student, whether you've got a disability, whether, one leg, 2 legs, whatever, you can still do something. And he was very, very passionate. And just seeing all these images of him today, climbing up, towers, like going sailing. He was very inspirational to a lot of people that have disabilities, and he'll be greatly missed. So I just wanted to share that with you because that only happened today, and it was like really, really moving. The difference he's made in his life. Yeah, it
sort of brings it home a little bit.
It does bring it home. I just sat there thinking, crikey, he was one heck of a man, really.
Very inspirational.
Yeah. I came away from it feeling quite, very moved. I mean, he was a lovely man. Yeah, knew him quite well. So he was lovely. So I was glad I was able to share that with him today. Yeah.
So there's all sorts of skills that people can come away with, really, isn't there? By coming along to you guys, particularly your project too. Positive Pathways.
Yeah, I mean, we've had people that have been made redundant and haven't worked for years, and now they're coaching and mentoring other people on the project, and it's just amazing to see their confidence grow. And that's really, how it works.
Yeah. So they come to you a complete novice, really.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the volunteer. For positive pathways, yes, I would say.
Yeah.
But, working with businesses, they've got a different kind of skill set. They might be marketing experts. They might have presentation skills. They, might be good with figures, Excel spreadsheets, whatever. There's always a way of giving something back to the community because they can pass on their skills and expertise through volunteering. So that's what our project tries to do with the employee volunteering scheme.
Yeah.
So it's either offering your skills or offering your practical help. So whatever you can give back, we can help you to do that.
Yeah, which is fabulous, and that's what this book you've given me tonight. I mean, it explains bits and pieces all about it, doesn't it?
Yes, it
does. The growth and development of people as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's good.
Because obviously, as you said, people come in a complete novice and go away with all these different skills.
Yeah. You can. There's always something for everybody, through volunteering.
Yeah.
2019, we spoke to Kat. Quite a busy time for her project. In terms of Community First itself, a busy year ahead.
It's a really busy year. We've got our big event, as I've just mentioned earlier, tomorrow at the Village Hotel.
Absolutely,
which has sold out.
Yes, so congrats to that.
Hundreds of people turning up tomorrow morning. But we're at the moment. I'm busy working on a huge event that's going to take place on the 14th of March in Winchester at the Winchester Hotel. And it is essentially for businesses across the whole of Hampshire to come along and find out how they can support communities. So we're going to be inviting 20 charities to talk about what they need, what support they need from the business sector. So we're going to have some specialist speakers talking about health and well-being. So we've got Caroline Day, because health and well-being is very, very instrumental to everybody. So whether you work in a company or whether you're a positive pathways person, whether you're just a regular human being, it's really important that we have positive mental health.
That's a big issue at the moment.
It's a massive. That's exactly. So that's why our speakers are focusing on that. But it's all about how the business sector can support the not-for-profit sector.
Yeah.
We've got Ian Dixon. I don't know if you've heard of Ian. He's a motivational and business coach, motivational speaker. So he's going to be talking about how positive mental health is absolutely essential for your business. And our little gimmick is want to outperform your competition by 147%. So that's for pitching it to the businesses. If they come along to this event, by having positive well-being and with your staff, you're more likely to have a successful business and therefore increase your productivity. So we're encouraging businesses to come along, just find out what it's all about. We've also got to take part in an audience with, so it's a little bit like Graham Norton. And I'm going to be the Graham Norton, although I don't know if you like him. And we're going to have a sofa, and we've got the chief executive of Trinity Winchester, which is a homeless project. Don't know if you've heard of that. And she's called Sue McKenna. So she's going to be talking about how important it is that businesses support Trinity Winchester.
Right.
And then we've got Linda Stiles. She's a sales and marketing executive, and she's going to talk about all of her work with volunteers, how she works with projects across our communities, through her business. So it's going to be a really great event. So if you want to get involved, please do go on the Community First website. It's on Eventbrite at the moment. Do come along.
Yeah, in particular, if you're in Portsmouth area, you can still attend.
Yeah, of course. It's Winchester because it's central, because it's kind of for our whole communities, not just Portsmouth, but we want people from Portsmouth, Havant, Fareham, Winchester. That just happens to be the venue. Yeah. But we'll no doubt do another one, but it's in Winchester this time. But it's the 14th of March.
Okay, so make a note of your diary for that. That's a Thursday, isn't it?
It's a Thursday.
Thursday night, yeah. 14th of March, so you can't forget that, I don't think. But a busy year in 2019 coming ahead. So once you get March out of the way, then it's another...
Well, then it's all the business events that we've got going on. We've got Volunteers Week in June. We are doing Havant Volunteer Awards, which is coming up. We've just had that agreed. We're just talking to the mayor, the future, mayor-elect, actually, on Tuesday night. We had a networking meeting at Lee Park Community Centre. So she's all geared up for that if she gets nominated. So that's celebrating all the fantastic work that volunteers do in Havant Borough. So that's in June.
Okay.
So, there's loads going on, and then it will just,
it just snowballs.
It's really busy,
positive
but good.
Stuff.
Really positive and really good.
Yeah. Now, if people want to find out more about Positive Pathways, Kat, how can they do that first of all?
Different ways. We've got a Facebook page, so it's CF Positive Pathways. We've also got Instagram, so the same thing, CF Positive Pathways. Our office number is 02393 873 808. So if you have any questions at all, we'll be happy to answer those. And we've got an email, positivepathways@cfirst.org.uk. So just use one of those methods and we'll be happy to speak to you.
Fantastic. And Community First itself, if people want to find out how to volunteer and that kind of thing.
Okay. Well, we have this amazing database website called Volunteer Wessex, so you can go on to www.volunteerwessex.org. And you can go on there and you can find all of our volunteering opportunities across the whole of the area that you just put in your postcode and it comes up with where you live and every single opportunity that's available in your area. If you would like to go on our website, it's www.cfirst.org.uk.
Yep.
We also have drop-ins in Havant Library on the second Tuesday of every month between 10 and 12. If you want to go and talk to Julie, our coordinator.
Hello,
she's
Julie.
She's in India at the moment, so she won't be able to hear this. She's enjoying herself on holiday.
Thought was there.
And then on the second Thursday of every month at Waterlooville Library between 10 and 12. So if people don't want to go on the website, they can go and talk to her face and Julie, and talk about volunteering.
So there's all sorts of ways.
There's loads of ways. Twitter, Facebook, we've got a phone number, 0300 500 80 85. That's our Community First main number. So there's loads of different ways. But yeah, it'd be brilliant to hear from you. And I encourage you to go out and think about volunteering because it is very worthwhile and it supports the community.
Yeah, I mean, particularly if it's perhaps an hour here and there.
Oh, crikey, yeah, 1 hour, half an hour.
Yeah.
Half an hour, just something.
Just giving back.
Something back
to other people. Girls, we've run out of time. It's great to have you back in with us again.
It's been fun.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah, no, we do appreciate it and what have you. We've got to give